Hi, welcome. New online learning platform by MASTERIN. This is Tama, today's speaker. Welcome to join this program. Okay. All right, this is me. I'm the advisor for MASTERIN. Here you see the email address right there, masterin.migration2020@gmail.com. This is a contact information for this product today. Okay. I started aviation Chino Airport, California, back in 1991. I flew 172 with my Japanese flight instructor. I never flown the plane, but that was the really first flight. And was so excited. And then that hooked me on the aviation since then. Then I got my flight instructor when I went to California. Then I started working as a flight instructor at the Kadena Air Force Base, U.S. Air Force Flight Training Center, Kadena Air Force Base. And I became chief flight instructor from 1997 to 2014. I learned a lot. As you know, the Roger Sharp was my first boss on the U.S. Air Force Kadena Flight Training Center. It was great. Then I became a FA-DPE for Korea and Japan, 2000 to 2013. I conducted several check ride per month, and then for the private instrument only. There's some instrument second in command type rating to Asian people. Then I became a manager for that flight training center, but only temporarily, 2004 to 2007. Then I got my NAFI Master Instructor credit, 2008. Then I used my experience for local national to establish my flight training center. I named the FSO Pilot Academy in Japan, 2009 through now. Then I established another company, Asian Simulators, to promote the Redbird simulator to Asian people from 2018 to present. I also serves out the FAA safety team representative during my DPE 2013. Then I quit that job, and then I started again 2019 to present to promote the safety to local national FAA pilots. So there's tons of FAA pilots in Japan. JAPA stands for Japan Aviation Pilot Association, JAPA. I was designated for the aviation safety seminar instructor from 2000 and still now. So this is my little bio. So basically you can see that I basically fly in the Japanese airspace for both Japanese pilots and also the FAA pilot. Okay, as you know, we need to have airports, airplanes, and some flight schools, flight instructor, to provide the flight training to the students. But lesser number of these, which happen to Japan, resulting higher costs and lower training quality. Airports, I will say less than 100, about 100 airports in entire Japan. I'm not sure how many airplanes out there, but it's very few. Because when I started in the flight training in California, I was so amazed at so many aircraft in one airport. I think Chino airports, all the airports at Chino airport, probably more than what we have in Japan entirely. I mean, that's small. Now for the school, I will say, including university and the private flight school, probably 20, 30 in Japan. Very less. Now, flight instructor, as you know, there's a lots of FAA flight instructor database. I checked the database the other day. I noticed the over 100,000 instructor pilots registered, right? But the Japanese, I think a little over 1,000 in the history. So I don't know how many people actually actively flying as a flight instructor. So very small general aviation in Japan. That's what I observed. Working as a flight instructor in the U.S. Air Force in an air base. Once you get outside the base, they're so small. So I see some problem right there. So as Redbird says, simulator is a classroom and airplanes are showroom, right? Yes, simulator is a classroom, but not enough to dealing with the students in other areas. to both cover for ground and flight training. So we need some remote lesson systems. I've been thinking about for a long time. Then I discovered one company named SnapAsk. As you can see this picture, student take a Photoshop, snap it, and ask that question to the student instructor, and they can learn interactively discussion on the text-based message, just like as you see in the screen. Then I talked to the CEO, Tim, in the picture. He's doing such a great job. As you can see this picture, right now, it's over 3 million students aged between 13 to 18 years old with 35,000 tutors in 8 countries in Asia. So as you see the slide here, this is, it's called Uber for the Tutoring application by CNBC and Bloomberg. And I was so impressed that the quality of the app, and I talked to Tim, CEO, then I offered him, why don't we have the aviation version for the SnapAsk, basically matching between students and instructors remotely. Then became MASTERIN Aviation. Actually, MASTERIN is the online, the tutors application for the different career, but they're gonna start with the aviation first. So what is MASTERIN? As you can see this picture, it's basically used in Zoom systems, one-on-one live video class system and Q&A function. That's what it is. So we are building on application learning platform and plan to be released on first quarter of 2021, next year. MASTERIN aiming to provide the students with online one-on-one live video class system. Let students use the internet to learn anytime and anywhere, not to be restricted by the time and place. That allows students to start their aviation journey easily, just like the flight instructor in their pockets. That's the policy concept. In the first stage, we are first focused on the creation of the online one-on-one live video class Q&A function. In the second phase, we'll be adding some video online course and one-to-many live video classes. That's the plan. All right, what is a MASTERIN? Take a look at some screenshot here. On the left, that's a home page on a cell phone. And then instructor list and instructor profile. Let's talk about that in a one by one. Okay, home page. On the top section of home page, allows the student to choose either one-on-one live or one-to-many live or video course and forum. But like I said, we are focusing on developing a one-on-one live class first. As you see the picture here, one-to-many video course and forum will be released on the second stage. Now on the one-on-one live class, it provides the students and instructor to talk via video on 30 minutes live class. Here's the trick. Students requested language. Not many people in Asia speak English, so they prefer to use their own language to learn aviation first. Obviously, they have to speak English to pass the the written test and flight check according to the FAA regulations. But they can choose the language. So that's a unique point. And they can schedule in advance. And they can prepare for that class. So student can prepare the questions so that the 30 minutes class will be very, very effective. And obviously the instructor can prepare the questions because they will provide the question, what kind of questions he's gonna ask, he or she is gonna question to the instructors. Then after the class, there's a rating system that's in the future as a rating system. That rating system provide the application to recommending flight instructor. We talk about that in a minute. Okay, as I said, one-to-many live class is self-explanatory. Basically the flight instructor can talk to the many, 2, 3, or more classes, students. But also it can be used for the marketing purposes, such as flight instructor or individual flight instructor can provide some kind of orientation tour. Open campus in Asia is very popular. Students want to go to college. Campus actually open to the public. So student can come to the campus to see around, observe the class, talking to the students, talking to the instructors. So using this function, it's possible to do the same thing. All right, video course, plan to have course in local language. As I said, they can choose their local language to learn the basic stuff. It's possible to integrating the current commercially product published in the USA. It's possible. All right, forum sections. It can be used for the marketing again, to leading the orientation tour for individual flight instructor for flight school. Basically, flight school can talk to the students, possible students, potential customers, talking about the flight training program in that school or flight instructor. Then you can lead to the one-to-many live classes to give the orientation tour. And again, possible to have millions of customers in Asian region. That's the key. Okay, on the middle part of the main homepage is upcoming class, if they reserve the class already. App list reserve the class and simply click on enter button to start the lesson. Very simple. And the bottom part is recommended instructor. As I said, the grading system will choose the recommending instructor to the applications. When you look at the instructor list, there's so many information right there, such as name and their picture, and ratings, and the number of classes conducted, just like Uber, and their language. English, perfect. English and Japanese, English and Chinese, English and Mandarin, anything else. And then subject, like specialize on a private, or specialize in private instrument, or multi-engine, or something like that. We start with the private instrument first. And specialize in what country, what authority, say FAA, that's for US. JCAB, Japan Civil Aviation Bureau, that's a Japanese Aviation Bureau. So you can specify that, which country you are specialized in. And then you can self-introductions, text-based, and then there are several reviews by the customer. So just like Uber. All right, so who needs it and why? As I said, for international students, they facing some problems. They will look for the local flight school first. But like I said, there's not many. Not even one school in one town. They have to find out in far. So it's hard to find it, but they could find one. But they find out the most flight schools send the student to the abroad, such as United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, so and so. So they find out, oh, they have to go outside. They have to go abroad first. So they notice they have to prepare a lot of things in order to go to, say for the States. We knew that there's a lot of failure, like the dropouts rates exceeded 80%, right? So they see that. So they feel like, oh, I have to spend a lot of time to prepare for going to the United States. But they're busy. Some students working full-time, some part-time. So they're not going to really full-time students can dedicate their time for study. So I got a lot of students locally. They are pretty much 20, 30 years old. They got a full-time job. So they can't spend their full-time for the study preparations. So they think like, I want to prepare whenever they want, whenever I want. They want to prepare as much as possible. They want to learn from the experienced instructor. Like I say, in Japanese the flight instructor, in the historical data, they number from 1 through whatever. From the first one would be maybe, I don't know, 50, 60 years ago. That's number 1. Now, 2020, just over 1,000 pilots. So it's very few, right? So they all know that there's over 100,000 instructor pilots in the United States. They want to learn from the experienced pilot. If they could, they want to select the flight instructor, if they could. Local flight instructor, there are maybe 1 or 2 instructor they can select. They assign it to it. So that could be the ideal situations. And possibly, if they receive some training through the MASTERIN, they get to know each other, and they want to go to that school to learn from that instructors. Basically, they want to learn the flight training from you, that they know you already, right? What about the flight instructor? Who needs it and why? Well, we should exercise real life teaching experiences. I know flight instructor have some experiences, of course, but I'm talking about the more experiences. And we should share the experiences with others, because pretty much every instructor pilot has a different background, different flying area. So you want to talk about that with others, like a hangar talk. Now, we should explore international students. We have tons of international students in Asian countries. Culture is different, but aviation is aviation. It's unique. It's fun. And obviously, wish to have more income sources, and possibly to have over 3 million potential students in the data map. Possibly to have actual flight students you touring in MASTERIN. As I said in the previous slide, you tutoring to them through this system, like a ground, a simulator, whatever, and they want to fly with you in the States. And able to expand real life teaching experiences. Able to deal with the various types of students. As you all know, every student's a different background, different learning styles. So you will deal with so many different type of students, which enable to improve the instructor's teaching technique. Obviously, experiences and plus income. That's why. All right, for the process to use this system for the students is first registration. That's for absolutely free using the app. Once you get in, you can select the instructors, and then you can select the topic. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but basically the aviation knowledge things. You can select it. Then you purchase ticket or tickets, multiple purchases. Then you book the flight, book the classes through the app. Then lesson. After lesson, you can rate it. That's a whole process for the students. And they can do that anytime they want, anywhere they want. It's just like Uber. Okay, what about the process for the flight instructors? Again, registration for free. You have to provide your instructor profile. The flight experience, we have some lists that we want you to fill out. The background, what kind of certificate you have, how many hours you fly, what kind of aircraft you fly, things like that. But it's free. Then you make yourself available to the schedule, or block out whatever you cannot fly or you cannot teach. Then student pick up you as a tutor, flight instructor. Then you get a notification from the systems. Again, you have a lesson, 30 minutes lesson. Then you got a payment, and you will get the recommended ratings if you do well. As I mentioned before, lesson topic will be covered basic FAA books. If you look at the PHAC, there's a 13 chapters. As you can see this slide. Airplane Flying Handbook has a 16 chapters. Instrument Flying Handbook covers 13 chapters. Instrument Procedures Handbook covers 7 chapters. So those are the topic they can select. So basically the student will select one of those chapters, then ask their questions relating to that topic, and then select the flight instructor. And you'll be notified from the system that this student is asking for this on this chapter in advance. Then you can prepare whatever you want, then start the lesson. Okay, this is the how to use as examples. As I said, the SNAP-AS is having over 3 million students already, age between 13 to 18s. They're doing some just school subject things, but that will be the future aviator students. In addition to that, we have current students in all country, so they could be our customer. So basically what I want to say is that those are the individual students for you. Talking about, as you see, the pilot PHAC, Airplane Flying Book, Instrument Flying Handbook, Instrument Procedure Handbook, basically private instrument, multi-commercial, things like that. You can do that. You can teach the students individually, or in the future, one-to-many session, you can do that to the schools. As I said, there's not many schools exist for the aviations. As I said, college, I don't think we have 10 university in Japan, aviation university. I think there's none for the aviation, piloting course in Taiwan, very few. So there's a possibility to have they're looking for the flight instructor to teach their class. Thanks to Redbird, they created Redbird Connect systems so that people can take in some lesson from the instructor in remote, do the same thing, remote simulator lessons. Okay. All right, now pricing. This is a 30-minute session per ticket, and one ticket costs $30. Okay, that's equivalent to $60 an hour. So one ticket costs 30 up to 5, no discount, but 10, 20, 50, there's a discount. So as you can see that hourly rate will be 60 down to $48 per hour. If the student purchased 50 ticket that expired 12 months, then they will receive 25 hours training from you guys. Now, for the instructor, this is income model. 12.5 or $12.50 per 30 minutes, equivalent to $25 an hour income. So if you can spend your time, say 50 hours per day, per week, 50 hours per week, 50 sessions per week, that gives you 25 hours per week. Total income will be $625. And obviously, this is not just for the money, but also you can expand your knowledge and experiences by teaching something you know to someone they don't know. So that's the key. And again, remember, I told you that the lesser number of these are happening states, but it can be fixed. How? We need you. We need your expertise to train Asian people who want to be the aviation future. So if you are interested, please camera on this QR code, and you will see the questionnaire through the Google form. To contact us, you can see this email, masterin.migration2020@gmail.com. You can email that, or you can actually go into the link and put some comments on it. And there's, I think, a 1 to 4 section, 3 sections on the questionnaire. And if you wanted to register as a flight instructor, you can do that through this questionnaire. This is online presentation, so I don't take the question right now, but I will be happy to answer the question on the, I think some chat form or something like that. So I'm glad to see that questions, and then I'll provide the answer for you. So I'm looking forward to working with you to train Asian people. Of course, this system works for not just overseas, but also good for domestic, your flight school, or maybe neighbor flight school as well. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. This is Tama. It was great. I will see you soon. Hopefully next year we have the real event.